All right, so here we go into another lesson of solving systems. So the content objective for today, students will be able to solve systems of two linear equations with two variables from mathematical and real-world problems. Language objectives, students will be able to explain to an elbow partner the difference in steps between elimination and substitution when solving systems of two linear equations with two variables. So we've already learned substitution, and today we're going to learn elimination, and you're going to be able to explain to somebody the difference between the two. So systems of equations are two or more linear equations. Graphing is a way to solve where you find out where they cross. Substitution, that's where you substitute into the equation to solve. And elimination, that's what we're going to look at today, okay? So elimination, a method of solving a system by adding or subtracting the equations to eliminate a variable. I'll show you how to do that one. So a solution, that is where they cross, or that is the x and y values that make the statements true. Intersection, that's where two lines cross. One solution is when they only have one solution, they only cross once. Infinite solutions, when they cross infinity amount of times or they're the same line. No solutions, when they never ever cross or they have the same slope, they're parallel lines. Independent system is a system of equations that has only one solution. Dependent can have more than one solution. Consistent system is if it crosses at least once. Inconsistent is if it never ever crosses at all. So let's look at your worksheet today. Again, don't forget to put your name. The topic for today is elimination. Okay, elimination. What is it? It's a method for solving systems of equations by adding or subtracting to eliminate a variable. Okay? So here are the steps. Step 1, make sure the equations are lined up. And let me tell you, it needs to be x, y equals number. Always. X, y equals number. That's how I want you to make sure it's always set up. X, y equals number. Okay, so first thing, add or subtract equations to eliminate the variable with common coefficients. Step 3, solve the equation for the remaining variable, and then substitute, we did that the other day, your answer into either original equation and solve for the other variable. Okay, so here we go, some examples. Number 1, okay, I told you I wanted an xy equals number, right? Well, in this case, just make sure they all line up, okay? Make sure they all line up. The y's are here, the x's are here, the numbers are here. They all need to line up. Okay, so in order to substitute, what you need to do is you need to make it to where there's a positive on top or a negative on top and the opposites on bottom. So let me show you how we're going to do this. We're either going to pick x or y in this circumstance. For this particular problem, I'm going to choose x. Okay, now I need to make it to where, say this is a positive 3x, I need to make this a negative 3x. So I'm going to multiply the whole thing by negative 3. Okay, so on top we have y equals 3x plus 4. Now on bottom we're going to have this. Negative 3 times y is negative 3y equals negative 3 times x is negative 3x. And then negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. Okay, here's where the fun begins. So y minus 3. So 1y minus 3y is what? Negative 2y. Equals 3 minus 3. They cancel. That's what our whole goal was. Then 6 plus 4 is 10. Now we need to solve for y. So we need to divide by that negative 2. And y equals negative 5. So now that we already have y, we need to substitute. Okay, you can pick either equation. I'm going to choose this bottom one. So instead of doing y, you're going to use what y equals, -5. So -5 equals x minus 2. Okay? So instead of y, we put that -5. So -5 equals x minus 2. Well, we need to solve for x. How can we get x by itself? We need to add this 2. So we have x equals, what's -5 plus 2? -3. So remember, x always goes first, so your answer here is -3 and then -5. Okay? Okay, so now let's try number 2. Number 2, x's are lined up, y's lined up, numbers lined up. Good. Now we need to make sure that we have a positive and negative with the same number, okay? So there's 2 1s here, right? So I'm just going to multiply this whole bottom by a -1, okay, to make them the same. So we have x plus 4y equals 13. And then -1 times x is -1x. -1 times -1y is a positive y. And then -1 times 3 is -3. So now we can start eliminating. X minus x is nothing, so it cancels. 4 plus 1 is 5y equals 13 minus 3, 10. So now we need to divide by 5. So y equals, what's 10 divided by 5? 2. So now we're going to substitute. I'm going to use the bottom equation again. So x minus, and what do we have instead of y? 2. X minus 2 equals 3, right? X minus y equals 3, x minus 2 equals 3. So x minus 2 equals 3. We need x by itself, so we add 2. X equals, what's 3 plus 2? 5. Remember, you always write the x first, so we have 5, 2. All right, let's look at the next one. Make sure they're lined up. X, y, number. Okay, so they're all lined up. So now again, let's just change the sign. Multiply it all by -1. So we have 3x minus 10y equals 14. -1 times 3x, -3x. -1 times -9, positive 9. And -1 times 15, -15. Okay, so now here comes the elimination. So we cancel these. Okay, so now we look at -10y plus 9y is -1y equals 14 minus 15, -1. Okay, so now we need to divide them both by that -1. That cancels. Y equals, what's -1 divided by -1? Positive 1. So now we can pick either one to substitute. I'm just going to use the bottom again. You can use either one you want. -9, 1 equals 15. So I just substituted 1 instead of y, because that's what y is. So we have 3x, -9 times 1 is -9, equals 15. So now we need to add the 9. So we have 3x equals, what's 15 plus 9? 24. Then divide by 3. X equals 8. We always write x first, so we have 8, 1. All right, let's look at the next one. Next one we have x's are lined up, y's are lined up, numbers are lined up. Great. So now we need to change these signs because these have the same number. So -1. So we have 4x plus 2y equals 6. And then -1 times -2x is positive 2x. -1 times -2y, times positive 2y is a -2y. And then negative 1 times 18 is negative 18. Here we go, eliminating. So, these cancel, right? So 4 plus 2 is 6x. 6 minus 18 is negative 12. Then you divide by 6. So x equals negative 2. Now we are going to substitute. This time I'm going to use the top equation. So it's 4 times what? Times that negative 2 instead of x. So 4 times negative 2 plus 2y equals 6. What's 4 times negative 2? Negative 8 plus 2y equals 6. So now we need to add this 8 to both sides because we're trying to get y by itself. So we have 2y equals, what is 6 plus 8? 14. Divide by 2. And y equals 7. Put your x first. Negative 2, 7. Okay? So on the back side, you're going to be solving the back side by yourself. But keep in mind something. Okay, I just want to show you something on number 7. X, the equal sign's here and the equal sign's here. You're going to need to move that y over, okay? Because they have to line up, okay? So you're going to need to move that y over, all right? Let me know if you need any help. Good luck. This is due at the end of the class period. Be sure to submit your answers online.